Hey everybody, Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net, where I teach you to make more money, flip more houses, and kick more ass. I've got a brand new Q&A video today for you guys. My question this week comes from Mike in Phoenix, Arizona, and Mike writes, "Hi Steph, I've currently got an REO property under contract and my inspection period is up in 2 days. I've been marketing it for almost 2 weeks and no one has been interested. Should I continue to market past the inspection period and risk losing my $2,000 deposit in hopes that I'll eventually find a buyer, or should I just cancel the contract and get my earnest money back? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you, Mike." All right, so Mike's got a property under contract. He's got $2,000 on the line. He has an inspection period that is almost up. My suggestion here would be, well, first off, you don't say, I don't know exactly what you have done to market the property. You said you've been marketing it for 2 weeks. You know, sometimes when people tell me they've been marketing a deal for 2 weeks, that means that they only put an ad on Craigslist and that's it, and let it sit there. But if you have been doing a good job of marketing this property for 2 weeks, and when I say a good job of marketing the property, I mean you've got bandit signs out there. I recommend putting between 30 and 50 signs out when you've got a property under contract. I usually write something on the signs, very simple, that says something like cheap house, cash only, 23K, and then my phone number. I put signs out. I find out if there are any investors that already own properties in that neighborhood, contact them and see if they would be interested. Any landlords that have rentals in that neighborhood, I contact them. I talk to all the wholesalers I know, do a ton of networking. I recommend going to your RIA and passing out flyers at your RIA or presenting the deal at your RIA. If you have done all of that for 2 weeks and no one is interested, that is a really good indication that your price is too high. So I don't know how much wiggle room that you have there, but you might want to, if you have been collecting, which you should be, anytime you talk to a potential buyer when they're calling on one of your deals, you always want to get their contact information, find out, you know, and this is whether or not they buy the property from you, you know, get their contact information, find out what they're looking for, if they're looking for more deals. But what you can do, if you've got some wiggle room in there, you know, call back those people that you have talked to who have called you on this deal and said that they weren't interested, and see if they, you know, if you can drop the price, if they would be, you know, willing to, if you drop the price, if they would be interested at a lower price. So, you know, I would try doing that. But if you've been marketing it for 2 weeks and no one is interested, like I said, you're probably going to have to drop the price. I would not chance it. I wouldn't chance the $2,000 unless you're, you know, really sure. Maybe you have a ton of wiggle room in there. I don't know how much you marked up the property compared to what you have it under contract for. But if there's only a couple grand there, I would probably just cancel the contract. Like I said, I would call the people that you have already talked to. If you kept their contact information, you have their phone number, call them up and say, hey, you know, I'm willing to negotiate a little bit on this. Would you be interested at X price? That would be my recommendation. I think if you've, you know, 2 weeks have gone by, I wouldn't chance it, because if you go past that inspection period, if that's the only contingency that you have in your offer, if you go past the inspection contingency and then you can't find a buyer, as you know, you're going to lose that 2 grand earnest money deposit. So that's what I would do. One thing to keep in mind too, and this is for anyone else who is watching this, I know when people are just getting started, a lot of times they'll go out and they'll put properties under contract, and this ends up happening. There is a learning curve there. Sometimes you're going to put something under contract and you think it's a deal, and then it turns out that it's not, and your deal falls apart, and that does suck. I'll be the first one to admit that when you think, you know, you've got a deal on your hands and then you market it, no one's interested, and the deal falls apart, it sucks. But you have to look at it as a learning experience. You know, this is a great way when you have something under contract and you're marketing the deal. It's a great way to build your buyers list, but it's also a great way to gain knowledge about what is going on in that particular neighborhood. You know, say you've got it under contract for $60,000 and you're marketing it for $70,000 and not a single person is interested, and everyone is telling you, you know, if you ask the buyers for feedback, which you should, I recommend, you know, when you're talking to someone, when they call on one of your deals and they tell you that they're not interested, I recommend trying to get a number out of them. Say something like, well, you know, I might be able to, there might be some negotiating room here. What number would work for you? So this is just a great way to learn the market, learn the neighborhood, find out what, it'll give you a much better idea of what prices investors are paying for properties in that particular neighborhood. So again, you know, while it's not the best or the outcome that you were looking for, you have to kind of view it as a learning experience, and the next time that you go to put an offer in on a property in that neighborhood, you're going to have a lot more knowledge, and you're going to be able to make your offer with a lot more confidence. So that would be my advice. I would, you know, just go back to those buyers, like I said, see if they would be interested in a lower price. But I wouldn't risk, especially if there's not a whole lot of, if you don't have a whole lot of profit built in there, I wouldn't risk your $2,000 deposit at this point. So that is all I have for today. If you guys have questions or comments, you can leave them below in the comments section. If you're watching this video or any of my videos on YouTube, I do have comments disabled on YouTube because it just gets too confusing for me to go back and forth from my blog to YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to leave a comment, you can go to my blog. It's flipthiswholesaler.net, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. That is all for today. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.